NFT.NYC, thank you for waking up early this morning. Everybody make it in safe today? No? Not safely? That's not off to a good start. We are very excited to talk to you today. Before we get going too much, I want to introduce some amazing people that I'm up here with. First and foremost, we have an amazing athlete to my right, NBA star Terence Mann. Before I start rambling too much about how awesome it is, Terence, I would love if you could give our friend in the audience a little bit of background and just how you even came to be here in the first place.
Yeah, I'm Terence Mann, play for the Clippers. Was approached with a great opportunity to work with a great team with these guys. Had great conversations, and they got me on board. I got them on board. It's kind of collaboration at the same time, and I'm excited to be here with these guys.
And flanking Terence and I are our amazing co-founder and CEO, Jeremy Lindblad and Sean Kelly. I would like to, just because this makes sense for chronological order, Sean, I have to know, when coming up with Chibi Dinos and starting this project, what sort of motivated you to get into the NFT space to begin with?
Yeah, definitely basketball. Prior to Chibi Dinos, I was heavy into NBA Top Shot, and I really had a passion for the sport, wanted to incorporate basketball as much as I could into the project. And the dinosaurs felt like that was a good mix of little character development with basketball. Wanted to mix the two worlds together.
Absolutely. And, an amazing company is being built left and right by the gentleman to my left, who I cannot give enough props to. Jeremy, you have an extensive background in a lot of different industries. Web3 came calling, and you are building a monstrosity in the best way possible. How did this Web3 world, like the rest of us, pull you in?
The opportunity in Web3, which was completely new to me, to be honest, there was so much opportunity. It was such a nascent community, and I really thought that we could bring some talent together and build something great, which is what we're in the process of doing.
And we mentioned Top Shot. Anybody here get into Top Shot to begin with? There we go. Some first ventures into NFTs began with Top Shot, these digital assets, and understanding why they might have value. We've obviously come full circle to NFTs being on the blockchain and all of the amazing technology that we can use them for. Recently, we have launched a game which allows you to make predictions off of NBA outcomes. And Jeremy, that was no small feat. How do you even go from staying away from any sort of betting aspect, nothing risking the community, nothing for the community to risk or lose, to now being able to reward them with a game that is free to play?
It's funny, you mentioned Top Shot. I think about 2 weeks into taking the role of CEO, I called one of my old contacts and I said, who do I speak? Who's the most important person to speak to in this industry associated with basketball? And they put me in touch with the gentleman who created Top Shot. And I worked with him and his team for, 4 months, ensuring, number one, that we created a free-to-play game, right? So you don't need to own an NFT and you don't need to make any wagers. And you can ostensibly take advantage of the daily fantasy sports and aspects of gambling without it being a gambling product.
Absolutely. And, with Top Shot, Terence, we hear a lot of players talking about it, sharing their clips, everything like that. For those of us that are not in the NBA locker rooms, how big is Top Shot being talked about right now amongst all the other players?
I would say pretty often.
Really?
Yeah. Guys, their Top Shot drops, and they be talking about in the locker room or show somebody their clip and stuff like that. But I would say, somebody bring it up every now and then for sure.
Do you remember your first moment getting with Top Shot, maybe seeing it actually happen in real life? And did you buy it or did you let somebody else buy it?
I let somebody else
There
buy
you
it.
go. That's all right.
But, it was pretty cool.
That's really cool. And, Sean, you've brought a lot of us together, helping to build an amazing team with Jeremy. Why NFTs after all of the other stuff you've done, right? Because from Jersey Champs to all of the marketing aspects you've been able to do, the Las Vegas events, but the NFT project itself has allowed you to go wherever you want with the project. Where do you see it in 6 months or a year from now?
Yeah, the space changes so quickly, as I'm sure everyone here knows. Who would have thought we'd be where we're at now, launching back in August? I mean, feel like not a lot of projects are still around. So we're going to keep grinding. I mean, the game we have in development, I mean, it looks really fun. So that'll probably be our main focus for the next 6-12 months.
Absolutely. And, Jeremy, talking about the game some more, without, too much of an instruction manual, because I have a tendency to do that, how does this game work and what makes it possible? How are people winning a currency that they can then one day spend?
Well, if we're talking, we have 2 games in production. One is actually live called Primal Pick'em, and that is the prediction game. And we will be launching in about 10 days the beta access for Primal Hoop, which is our arcade-style, user-controlled, super sticky, incredibly fun play-to-earn game.
Who played NBA Jam growing up? Anybody? NBA 2K? Okay, yeah, I was right there with you. I'm horrible, but I still like to play with Terance when I'm playing. Makes me feel a little bit better, so...
Yeah, that's fantastic. And we actually mirrored a lot of what we did for Primal Hoop off of what we loved about NBA Jam. But the way in which people can earn, we have built a token system where we will be launching something called the Hoop Coin, and that will be the premium reward token within our ecosystem. And therefore, in the you can play and not earn, right? It's going to be a fun arcade-style game. But if you choose to enter into the Web3 portion of that, you can earn the Hoop Coin, which is going to be quite valuable someday.
Quite valuable. And, all of us are getting new into NFTs. There's a lot of pretend imposter syndrome. I've been victim to it, and we all want to just learn more together. Terance, you've shown an immense willingness to enter this space, learn more on a daily basis, and interact with a community that doesn't really see a lot of interactions like this. As you enter the space, what has been the best thing that you've encountered in terms of, fans, friends, community engagement, and being able to talk to people who you didn't previously realize were such big fans?
I think just the whole aspect of it, just being able to learn about it, different people's point of views about it. Like he says, a space that changes a lot. So watching, certain stuff fall and certain stuff rise and stuff like that. So I think just learning about it, really.
Absolutely. And, we're all learning together, and anyone who says differently is not at the right conference. I would be as willing to say that. Sean, you've done a lot of different things with NBA players, with the sport itself, and you've created the ability for athletes to engage with the NFT community in a way that's not just, I'm going to say it, shilling, right? And how were you able to engage these athletes, make them part of the community without it just being, buy our stuff, please?
Yeah, that's a great question. I remember when I was first studying the NFT space and how to launch a project, it seemed like they were really against paid shills with influencers. So that's something I didn't want to just pay an NBA player to do, just do a tweet and that's that. I wanted them to be integrated with the community, so I made 10 different NBA players, team captains of our 10 teams, got them in Discord AMAs, got them on Twitter Spaces. I feel like the more you can integrate your influencers with the community, the better it looks for the project.
Yeah, and I completely agree. And with multiple athletes as part of the Chibi Dinos community, Terance, PJ Washington, and Bobby Portis, and a few others, you are paving the way to make it possible for other athletes to enter this space in a sort of safe environment. And we all know that athletes, I'm sure I don't need to tell you, are approached with offers all the time for all sorts of different things, anything you can wear or promote. Recently in Web3, we're seeing a lot of athletes become part of different projects. You've found a home that allows you to enter the community. What is the biggest risk for these professional athletes coming into Web3, in your opinion?
I think just not, taking the time to learn it either themselves or their team, taking the time to learn it themselves and educating them on it. And, they're just going in, they see the dollar sign or whatever's offered to them and they're like, I'm gonna grab that and, not either promote it as much, not learn about it as much, not be engaged in it, not show up, things of that nature. And, with your brand, your self-brand, you can't do that. You can't do things like that. You got to be locked in on it.
So where do you see, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit.
That's fine.
How old are you, Terance?
25.
Wow. I'd like that back, please. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? in terms of continuing to exist in the Web3 space? Because it's obvious to me that you're here to stay. You are not going anywhere anytime soon. And I think that your ability to grow within the NFT space is infinite. And you like talking to the community more than anything. So for you, is it mostly about learning about the community or wanting to be involved in the technical aspects of NFTs themselves?
I would definitely say both. I think 5 years from now, I'm definitely going to be still learning about it and still being engaged in it. So definitely both. And I also want to take it to a new level, try different things with it, try more things with you guys and see what you guys want to do. But definitely still learning and engaged in 5 years from now for sure. And bringing my friends on with it, my teammates, my personal friends from home, whatnot, whatever it is, and try to incorporate it in, our everyday lifestyle in a way. Because, growing up as an African-American, you don't really get involved in tech stuff. And, bringing those type of people on with me would be pretty cool.
And you raised a very good point about involving your friends. And I know that we've all had those same conversations. I hope I'm not the only person whose family looks at them like they're crazy when I bring up NFTs. That's okay. So Thanksgiving dinner, don't talk about NFTs, if in case anybody's wondering. Terence, when you're talking to these colleagues, these peers about NFTs, what is the biggest roadblock that you hear from your friends?
How much money do I have to spend? That's probably the first question almost every time. And then their next question is, how much money will I make? And I feel like that's what
that's some good information. How much money will I make, Terence?
Enough.
Oh, there we go.
If you put in the work.
And, Sean and Jeremy, you also come from very eclectic backgrounds. Jeremy, when you're talking to some of these other, I'm going to say it, corporate types, no offense, what is the biggest impediment you hear when you're in these meetings and short of the NFTs are a Ponzi scam line that we all love to hear?
Well, as Sean said, the technology's fairly new, right? So, and it's changing so rapidly. Folks need to be really educated if they're going to make a big bet on something. I was thinking about when T was talking about joining our team. When I had my first conversation with you, one of the first things I said is, I have to care about your brand more than you care about mine. And I feel that same way with partners, corporate partners, investors, whoever that might be. And without proper education, you can't really enter into an agreement that is going to be binding and makes you feel safe and sound, right? So it's really, I think, about educating those corporate partners and ensuring that they feel comfortable in that sort of engagement.
And Sean, with the reach that you have, obviously you hear the good and the bad about what's going on with NFTs. What is your ability to drown out the negative? Because I struggle with it sometimes too, just having to, convince people this is not something that they should forget about. Obviously, we've heard the cliche of, don't convince, just execute. But you're in a lot of these conversations as well. What are your peers' biggest worries when it comes to the NFT craze that is currently going on?
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot to worry about between the hacking, the rug pulls, and yeah, there's a whole side of NFT Twitter that's super negative. But
the market.
I just try to stay, as positive as possible. I just keep building, as much of a meme it is to say that. And just align yourself with the right people, I think, is the main thing.
And it does kind of become a meme, right? Like, we're building. If anyone's seen the hilarious K-Money Twitter page talking about just building, it is too much of a meme cliche. There is a difference here, though, that Jeremy touched on, and that is there is actually things being built currently. A game already in existence where you can win a currency pre-public listing for free at no cost to yourself, other than doing the same thing that I would probably be doing if I lived in Vegas anyways, right? And this opportunity in a down market does offer an immense opportunity to build. How does a company like Chibi Dino seize that, use what is currently going on, and get ready for 1, 2, 3, 6 months from now?
When the markets are tough, you really need to slow down, right? Because you can't spend a lot of money, and you need to really focus on what it is that you are building. Mm-hmm. So, if everything's going crazy and the market's doing great and you're going super fast, you can make mistakes. So instead of just saying building, I think we're just focusing, and we're really trying to nail that roadmap and execute on exactly what we've promised and execute it to a better extent than we probably would have if we were going super fast.
Absolutely. And we have a little taste of what that building might look like for everyone in the audience here today. We have a free wearable and NFT for everybody here this morning. So after our panel today, we're going to be right outside in the Palladium main area, and we would like to give everyone here, as we can find you, a free NFT, a wearable with a Chibi Dinos hoodie and t-shirt that will also be redeemable in many different ways. So come find us, come say hello and talk about anything that we're discussing. We want to engage with you and reward you for being a part of our community. And Sean, I think that's the biggest thing with Chibi Dinos is that we ensure all community members, whether they hold, own, play, whatever the ecosystem might be, hop in the Discord. Yes, that was a little bit of a shill, but how can NFT projects continue to return value after the money's been spent?
Yeah, that's the $1 million question, right? I mean, we do so much. I feel like you just have to think of creative ways to provide value to your holders. So we try to keep our holders in mind first, whether that's, in-person events, getting to meet your favorite NBA player, talk to them, stuff they couldn't access in other areas of their life. Like, we try to think of creative ways.
Well, speaking of access, Terence, we're going to give people a little bit more access to you. And I like that. There we go. That was a good way to play that.
Fair.
Perfect. And so we are starting a program where every holder of a Chibi Dino NFT is going to be part of a Zoom call or phone call with our NBA athletes in the coming few months. It is very important to us for our community to have access to our team, our players, and everything of the sort, making sure, as Sean and Jeremy have said, that the community continues to be engaged with the project is the $1 million question. As we move forward, the games themselves, though, Jeremy, and I don't want to use money, right? I don't want to promise about monetary, but it is providing rewards for a time investment into playing a video game. I played way too much Halo growing up. I have nothing to show for it. So I forget what level I was, Sean, but it went away with Xbox 2 whenever that happened. So how can we use games forever to make sure that the gamers themselves are rewarded instead of the companies reaping all of the benefits?
When I started to really think about what Primal Hoop was going to be in terms of the play-to-earn capacity of it, I thought back to all those hours that I played video games, and I thought, gosh, those video game companies made a lot of money. We don't really like to use the term play to earn. We like to use the term play and earn. And at the end of the day, yes, you'll be able to earn rewards, but our goal and our focus is to build the most fun, engaging arcade-style game in Primal Hoop. And at the end of the day, you will be able to earn, but you'll be coming back because of the fun aspects of it.
Absolutely.
Because you can't have a good ecosystem if the game isn't fun and you just have to grind, right?
Absolutely. And, luckily, I have not been on the forefront of this for us, but game development is no easy thing to have happen. And, we got to play NBA 2K. Luckily, we did not have to design it or, do all of the motion tracking stuff for it, figure out how to make Terance dunk in a video game, even though he can already do it in real life. Sean, Jeremy, how does a game like this even come together out of thin air? Because we haven't released the beta yet. We've released some screenshots. If you're paying attention in the right places, social media, Discord, the information is out there. This is a perfect time to drop the do your own research, Ashley line.
Absolutely.
How does this game come out of nowhere? How did you two think of this? Because I don't even know how else to ask the question how you came up with a tokenized version of NBA Jam that is play and earn.
Sean, why don't you say? I'll tell you. Hearing you say "out of thin air" makes me cringe because it's been a lot of work. But what we did was we just found really good partners. We had the opportunity to potentially build the game in-house, and I think Sean and I made the decision probably back in October that did not make sense. We weren't going to get it to the market fast enough, and I really wanted to have the first user-controlled arcade-style sports play-to-earn game on the market, and I think we're going to hit that. And we just couldn't have done it without finding true partners. And the guys that are building our Primal Hoop are, AAA, incredible game developers. And it's in their hands, and we just have more than weekly calls with them and making sure that it's in the style that we want it.
Absolutely. And, you know, Terence, there's all sorts of professional athletes getting more and more into this space. What is the single biggest reward to you other than obviously the bag?
I mean, I just think the way the space is moving, to be able to get into it early, invest in it early, invest my time, my money, and like I said before, my, education on it to my friends and stuff like that.
And you were very early. You started educating yourself very quickly. We've been on phone calls, and I was blown away just with your immense knowledge about everything going on, the space, and the fact that you have a mutant, which I'm a little jealous of right now, but we're going to let that slide. When you start looking at an NFT, let's just say you're on OpenSea, you're browsing, you're doing, for me, what is my retail therapy? What sticks out to you the most when looking at projects in general? Is it the art? Is it the what you get out of it?
For me, it's definitely the art.
Interesting.
Yeah, I like the visual aspects of things, and that's kind of what brought me, to love what you guys are doing also.
I love that.
So yeah, it's definitely the art.
Do you see a metaverse painting hanging for you, or do you want your NFT printed out and hanging on your wall?
Probably metaverse.
Metaverse?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely more beneficial for me and everybody
Both.
else.
Yeah, I like both.
Or both.
Both
yeah.
works.
I mean, both
Okay.
works.
So Terence is wearing one of our jerseys right now. We have 10 teams that are part of the Chibi Dinos ecosystem. Each of the dinos wearing one of these particular jerseys, which you can obviously all get yourself. But more so than that, I think it creates some sort of a community within your team. We've a lot of different people identify with, the eaters, with whoever it might be that is the jersey that the dino you're wearing. Sean, you have an extensive background with Jersey Champs. There had to have been a connection here.
Yeah, of course. Owning a jersey company prior to an NFT business, I knew I had to mix the two, and I like how the jerseys came out.
I absolutely do. What's your
Just
favorite?
a shout out to the Extinct Eaters. Their fan page for us, and as you said, community within
It's
a
a little
community.
nuts.
I mean, Tony and that he runs that fan page. Oof, it's incredible to see communities grow within communities like that. Really smart move, Sean.
Absolutely. And with the jerseys and more physical merchandise coming out, I think it's very important for us to merge that physical and digital apparel line. Now, the present we have for everyone here today is a small sample of that. I hope you can find us in the Palladium staging area. We have gifts for you. We want to show you what is coming in just a small taste. Terence, eventually, we're going to need that jersey in the metaverse so that people can wear the exact jersey you're wearing right now. Are you willing to share with the audience?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a great jersey, great quality. It looks nice. It matches perfectly with the colors up there too. But I also just want to say, I've been in a lot of cheap jerseys also, and this one is really well made. So shout out to you guys.
I'm going to do something randomly that I have not cleared with any of the three people who are in charge of me on the stage right now. We're going to give away this jersey that Terence is wearing to somebody in the audience right after this panel.
Very cool.
Am I getting yelled at? Not
Nope.
getting yelled
So
at.
I
Okay,
can't
we're
take it
good.
home with me?
What's that?
We got to get you another one, man.
We got to get Terence another one. So we would love to meet you outside in the staging area. We have amazing gifts for everyone, as well as the potential to literally get the shirt off of Terence's back. I don't know what more we can offer you. I don't think, Terence, you're not going home with anybody. We're not going to lunch or anything. But we're going to sign this jersey, and we'd like to give it to the community here today for thanking you for being here, as well as 150 free NFTs that we have for everyone in the audience today. Before we get too much further along,
That's a great package deal right there.
I was going to say only one person's getting the jersey now, but, there we go.
Easy decision.
Easy decision. So before the stage manager, comes out here and, kicks us all off stage, we have some amazing speakers the rest of the day for you, a lot of sports discussions. I'm going to open it up to 2 questions. If anybody has a quick question. Sir? Mm-hmm. And I think this is actually something that we can use an empirical example for. We just did a great collaboration with Curry Brand and Under Armour that other basketball projects were a part of. I believe it was RKL and a couple others. We did it with basketball heads. What makes me very happy is there's plenty of room in NFTs for sports right now. And there's not enough of that. We want to make sure that more NBA and more basketball players and overall professional athletes are here at NFT.NYC and in the Web3 space in general. I am getting the cue off to my peripheral. I know exactly what that means. We will be here the rest of the morning. We're going to be at NFT.NYC all week. Get a hold of us at Chibi Dinos. We would love to interact with all of you. I cannot even tell you how much we appreciate your time, and we have free gifts for everyone for joining us this morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charles.